The year 2026 is rapidly approaching, and with it, the forgotten prophecy that is about to come true. Many believe the end of times is near, but few know that an ancient prophecy, hidden within the pages of the Bible, refers to events that are about to unfold. Although many scholars attempt to discredit these predictions, the truth is that the clues left in the Holy Scriptures are starting to make sense as we approach the year 2026. The forgotten prophecy, hidden for centuries, is a key to understanding the true magnitude of the events to come, and it points directly to what many consider to be the beginning of the Great Tribulation. Are you enjoying this message? Then subscribe to the channel to help it grow. The Bible is filled with references to the end of times, but there is one prophecy in particular that remains shrouded in mystery, one that few dare to discuss, but which is now, as 2026 approaches, being analyzed more closely. This prophecy speaks of the rise of a dark leader, the Antichrist, and the chaos he will bring to the world. He will be responsible for dividing and destroying nations, corrupting hearts, and spreading a false peace. One that, in reality, will lead humanity into a state of despair. This figure, so often mentioned in the book of Revelation, has never been clearly identified. However, as the years progress, we cannot ignore the signs that are manifesting in the world today. What many call coincidence or chance may actually be the fulfillment of a prophecy. The global financial crisis, constant wars, and political tensions are drawing a scenario that could easily be mistaken for the apocalyptic descriptions we find in the Bible. But the most surprising thing is that the forgotten prophecy suggests that the year 2026 will mark the beginning of a series of cataclysmic events that will forever alter the course of human history. But what exactly does this forgotten prophecy say? And how is it relevant to us today? The key lies in a sequence of dates and historical events that, when analyzed more deeply, point to the beginning of a cycle of destruction and renewal. If we look at the words of Christ in the Gospel of Matthew, we see that he also spoke about these signs, warning his followers that they would face difficult times before his second coming. When Jesus talks about the end of times, he mentions wars and rumors of wars, famine and plagues, and an increase in iniquity. The love of many will grow cold, and people will become more selfish, more violent, and more indifferent to the suffering of others. As we observe modern society, we can see that many of these things are already happening. Violence has increased in various parts of the world, indifference to the suffering of others seems to be spreading, and social and economic inequalities are deeper than ever. These signs cannot be ignored, and many believe they indicate that we are living in apocalyptic times. However, what makes this prophecy so intriguing is the fact that it is not just a dark prediction, but also a promise of renewal. Despite the tribulation that will come, there will be an opportunity for those who maintain their faith and trust in God. The book of Revelation, though frightening, also speaks of the ultimate victory of good over evil, of Christ's victory over the Antichrist, and of the establishment of a new heaven and a new earth, where there will be no more pain, suffering, or death. But for this to happen, one must go through the tribulation.
This is the essence of the forgotten prophecy.
The big question is, are we ready for what is to come? Are we prepared to face the challenges that will be imposed on us? The prophecy speaks of a time of great anguish, but also of the possibility of a great transformation. Are you enjoying this message? Then subscribe to the channel to help it grow. In 2026, many things may change. The world as we know it may collapse, but that doesn't have to be the end. On the contrary, it could be the beginning of a new era of faith, hope, and renewal. The forgotten prophecy doesn't just show us a future of destruction, but also a future of light. The Great Tribulation will be a trial by fire for humanity, but those who remain faithful will find a new opportunity to rebuild the world in a more just, compassionate, and divine way. If 2026 is the year when everything changes, we must be prepared not just to survive, but also to help bring about a new beginning. As we approach the year 2026, we can no longer ignore the signs around us. The fulfillment of the forgotten prophecy seems closer than ever, and the question we all must ask ourselves is, are we prepared? Are we ready to face the challenges to come? The answer to this question will determine whether we will be able to overcome the Great Tribulation and live to see the establishment of the new heaven and the new earth promised in the Scriptures. Time is drawing near, and the choice is ours, to remain vigilant or be caught off guard by the arrival of the end. The concept of the Antichrist, often seen as a distant and enigmatic figure, is beginning to take more tangible forms as the world faces unprecedented crises. In many nations, authoritarian rulers and extremist ideologies have gained ground, creating an atmosphere of fear and insecurity. The global financial system, in turn, faces an impending crisis, with banks and financial institutions failing to provide stability. This raises a central question. Will the Antichrist, as described in the Bible, truly manifest as a single world leader, or will he emerge from a network of powerful figures manipulating events and causing chaos? Some scholars believe that, as the global system collapses, the Antichrist may be a multifaceted figure. Not necessarily a single person, but a series of powerful influences that will manipulate events around the globe. Popular revolt also seems to be on the rise. In many parts of the world, social movements have intensified, with mass protests against governments and economic elites who are seen as responsible for inequality and human suffering. However, the Bible warns that false leadership will rise to take advantage of this revolt, using public discontent to establish a regime that seems to offer quick solutions but will, in fact, be even more destructive. The book of Revelation mentions false peace, and it is precisely in this period of social and political chaos that the Antichrist will emerge, offering an illusory peace that will later result in destruction. If 2026 is the year when the prophecies come true, we must be ready, not just physically, but primarily spiritually, to face the adversities that will arise and to live out the promise of renewal that God has for all who remain faithful. I hope you enjoyed this message and that it brings light to your day. Like the video, share it with your friends and family, leave your faith-filled comment, and subscribe to the channel so that God's word can reach more homes.